Hello, I'm Jacob with Exploring History, and today we're going to be looking at the Industrial Revolution and what exactly the Industrial Revolution was. To put it in simple terms, the Industrial Revolution was the advancement of manufacturing, and it started around 1760 and lasted till about 1870. The Industrial Revolution started in the United Kingdom, and the United Kingdom would produce some of the most notable advancements in the Industrial Revolution. A lot of industries were changed drastically by the Industrial Revolution for a lot of reasons. For example, the textile industry was changed drastically because of inventions such as the water frame. And what the water frame did was it would allow a single machine to spin hundreds of spools of yarn or fabrics at the same time, rather than needing 100 people. And this would increase production tenfold. And some other industries that were affected were the metal industry, because of the transition from wood to coal. What this did was it would allow for industries and factories that produced metal to produce more metal, because coal was a lot more abundant than wood. As well as coal having the benefit of not emitting as much sulfur ash, and when it did, it wouldn't migrate into the metal like when you used wood, which would create an imperfection. So it made a lot more durable metal. And this would increase output a lot because you didn't have a bunch of bad metal coming out. As well as the invention of new furnace techniques and new ways to pound the metal out. And it would increase output drastically. And lots of new tools were also made for many different professions, which allowed people to get more work done with less effort and less time, which increased production in these industries. Now, the most important aspect of the Industrial Revolution was the introduction of steam power. The use of steam power was able to build engines and machines that had up to 210,000 horsepower. And that is so useful, it would be used all the way up into the late 19th century. Now, the use of these steam engines, like I was talking about with metal, allowed for powerful machines to pound out big pieces of metal really fast, and would allow for transportation to be changed. By the introduction of steam engines into things like boats, which would allow for boats to have more pulling capacity, more carrying capacity, and they could transport heavier things farther and travel farther. Another notable thing that's worth mentioning was the transition from wood lighting and torches and stuff like that to gas lighting, which become a major industry, as most countries and places would replace the wood energy with coal energy or gas lighting and stuff like that. Now, the Industrial Revolution also had huge effects on almost every aspect of people's lives. As items became more readily available and in larger quantities, the standard of living increased because of this, because there was more to have and because there was more stuff for people to buy and have, the prices of stuff dropped. So someone who might not have been making as much money as someone else was able to afford more things now, more clothes, more food, and things like that. And this would also cause the population of the world to increase drastically, as more food was able to be reduced because of inventions of machines like the mechanical seeder, which would allow food to be planted faster than ever before. It would allow hundreds of plants to be planted in a day. And over 200 years, you would see Europe's population rise by 300 million in 200 years, which is a huge population increase. Triple the population Europe had, which was 100 million, in just 200 years. Now, there was some negative effects to the Industrial Revolution. It created massive wage gaps between workers and the lower and middle class. The average factory worker would get 20 to 40% less than what would be needed to have a decent life and what was considered livable at the time. And it also created monopolies and people who tried to take control of entire industries and rake in all the money for themselves and barely give any back to their workers. It also saw some very terrible work conditions, for example, like steel mills, where people would work 12 hours around very dangerous machines that could kill people. And there was a lot of deaths that actually occurred in metal or steel mills. Another problem was child labor became rampant in industries like the fabric industry or textile industry. They would have little kids that would crawl under machines to get stuff and move around all these dangerous machines, and it would create a lot of disfigurement in children and a lot of child death, actually. Now, despite all its negatives and all its benefits, the Industrial Revolution is very important because it is what propelled us into the modern world. It's what allowed us to advance science and build new machines, discover new ways to power things, let us discover gasoline, kerosene, all these amazing chemicals that would power the world we live in now and change how economies worked and how governments worked and how much food was being produced and how many people Earth could support, essentially. And it really shaped the foundation for the modern world, and as well as modern capitalism. And it had a very big role in making the world the way it is today, and how we are able to support such a large population and have so many amazing inventions kind of directly stem from the Industrial Revolution. And that's my conclusion for this video today. I hope it was very insightful for you, and I hope you took something away from it. And this idea to talk about the Industrial Revolution was actually suggested by another channel that I'm good friends with. This channel is called PFOD. They make really hilarious skits that are sure to give you a good laugh. And if you find any time at all, I'd love it if you could take a peek at their channel and see what they have going on, because it is some good stuff that'll for sure make you laugh. Another announcement, hopefully on Tuesday is when my next video will be uploaded. I'm working on a very unique video that is centered around alternate history. So, what could have happened if a big event in the world changed. Hopefully, people enjoy it, and I'm going to work really hard to make it a really high quality video that tons of people will watch. And I hope for that to be out and uploaded around 10 p.m. or maybe earlier on Tuesday. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Jacob with Exploring History, and this has been What is the Industrial Revolution? Like and comment if you'd like, and leave a subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.